right these days, AAPI deals with visa issues and stuff like that. For example, when I started office, there was a J1 visa blockade by Trump administration. That means J1 visas are for people who are medical students here, who got residency programs there, they go through that pathway. With the leadership of American medical association, who incidentally, in the 140 years or more of American medical association history, the president is an Indian.
Namaskar and welcome to IndusTV MedTalk, where we bring you conversations that matter, bridging healthcare, community, and leadership. Today, we are honored to feature two distinguished leaders from one of the most influential medical organizations in the USA, the American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, AAPI or AAPI. Joining with us is the dynamic president, Dr. Amit Chakroborty, and the esteemed chairwoman of the board of trustees, Dr. Patel. With a network of tens of thousands of physicians and a legacy of service that touches millions of lives, AAPI has played a transformative role in shaping healthcare both in the US and globally. Today, we will explore their leadership journey, AAPI's mission, and the growing impact of Indian origin physicians in advancing patient care, medical education, and global health initiatives. Welcome to IndusTV MedTalk. It's a privilege to have you both with us. And I know AAPI is providing advocacy, education, and professional development, community service, and making a global impact. So welcome both of you to this segment of MedTalk on IndusTV.
Thank you very much, Tushar, for having us. This is you've been a long-term patron of our organization, and thank you for bringing this to the IndusTV and to the world, so that we can answer any of your questions, which would be very informative to not only members of AAPI, also to the general public. Thank you for having us.
Welcome, Dr. Gore.
Thank you, Dr. Patel and IndusTV for having us. And you've been a pioneer in health camps in New Jersey and your selfless service you do for the community. And I'm proud to call you a friend, and we've been friends for years. And thank you for having us to tell the community as well as physician community about what AAPI stands for, what we do, and what our goals and visions are. So thank you for having us to spread the word.
So let me start by saying that AAPI represents the largest organized body of Indian origin physicians in the US, representing over 80,000 physicians and another 40,000 residents, medical students, and fellows of Indian origin in the USA. What do you see as the organization's most important responsibility in today's healthcare landscape? I'm going to start with Dr. Chakroborty first.
That's a very important question. That's why that's the basis of any organization. Our organization, like you said, is the second largest medical organization in this country and the largest ethnic medical organization in this country, representing the interests of more than 100,000 physicians practicing in this country, medical students, residents, and fellows. And it's a big force. We are just short of next to American Medical Association. So we believe in advocacy not only for our Indian physicians here, but also helping the medical students and residents who want to come from India to our country. And we have been, as we'll tell you during the course of the interview, done a lot of things for both people who are practicing here, who are students here, and for international medical graduates who want to come over here, and we're helping them in different ways.
Thank you, Dr. Patel, for that question. I think we as a physician, especially of Indian origin, not only we have a responsibility to give really amazing medical care to our patients and our community and give back to the community in United States as well as in India. And, a lot of times people say that, but there are not too many physicians who are part of CRP or even who are physicians who are part of AAPI are not active. But whatever we do and we achieve as for physicians in general, and especially Indian physician, helps other physicians. So that's why we represent so many of physicians, because whatever we do, whatever positive step we do, like as you know, we help H1B visa at the beginning of the term, and that helped so many physicians, and not just Indian physician, right? Any immigrant physician it helps. So we as a physicians have a responsibility to impact and govern in a way that helps physician as well as patients, and that's responsibility. We take it very seriously.
That's a wonderful thing, and I know AAPI for many decades. AAPI is in existence for almost 45 years now, and I have been part for last at least 3 decades, and I know what AAPI has been doing to promote the physician advocacy in the country, and you both are very instrumental in doing so. So what are your long-term vision for AAPI for next 5 to 10 years? How do you see AAPI going in the next decade?
Basically, AAPI, like you said, has a long road, long legacy. When AAPI started, we started because there was discrimination against Indian physicians rising up in the ranks in the medical profession. However, over the years, we have gained popularity, and Indian physicians are very well liked, not only by the administration of the hospital, but patients. It gives me great pride. A lot of patients just ask their physicians, primary care, send me to an Indian doctor. That's how the reputation we have built over the years, and we are one of the most respected and revered ethnic minorities who are physicians here. We only represent 2% of the population of the United States, but we constitute about 9 to 11% of the medical task force and 23% of the overall healthcare, which includes pharmacists and everything else. So it is huge, and the reason what we need to do over the next 5 years, our focus has now shifted. Our focus right now is to combat the obstacles which now our present government is putting for IMGs, international medical graduates, to come over here and get decent residency programs. We, with our AMA president, Dr. Bobby Mukamala, who is an Indian, after so many years of AMA existence, we're lucky to have an Indian president whose father was a past president of AAPI. We have done various things for H1B and J1 visas. We'll talk about that down the road. But the question you asked, and the answer is, our focus has shifted. Over the next 5 years, our focus is to make them know that international medical graduates are no longer a luxury. It's something which you need, or the hospitals in your smaller towns, smaller countries will close down. 70 to 80% of the hospitalists and internal medicine doctors in smaller communities, even large communities like Florida, Ocala, for example, where I work, has 70 to 80% international medical graduates, and they get the cream of the crop. When they get international medical graduates, they get the cream. So it is something which we need to hammer to the Congress, that it's no longer that we are needed. We are needed in the community. We are not asking for it. It's something which you need for getting the health care going, because your graduates from this country do not want to go to the small hospitals and man the posts. So the focus has shifted. That is where we are trying to go. Of course, education and medical education and training for people in India from here will continue to do that. But that's a major shift in focus.
I'd like to add to that, apart from what Dr. Chakroborty just mentioned, it's an important topic, but also physicians' well-being in this country, right? People who are in practice and how they are practicing. So we are advocating with the Congress, we are advocating with lawmakers to make the life easier for physicians. So things like pre-authorization, reimbursement, all the regulations which make it very difficult for a primary care, for a solo physician to work in this country. So we are trying to help physicians to practice what they are trained to do rather than get into all these administrative burdens, etc. Second point, I would like to emphasize that the mental health, right, of our physician community is so important, right?
Yes.
Because of the stresses of life, the stresses of practice. That's another point that we are, trying to emphasize. We did, under leadership of Dr. Chakroborty, we did a Ayurveda and mental health summit to help, physician grow and get the stress less. So those are a few of the other topics that we are also concentrating, and that's the direction that we like to continue in next 5 years, is about priority of physician practices, making it easier for physician to practice in this country, as well as the work balance in this life. It's very important. We have been trained to work, especially the generation like us. We've been working. The younger generation, on the other hand, are very, very smart about work-life balance. But what has happened, the physician burnout is true, and we need to work to kind of help them. So these are the few directions that we think that AAPI, as well as all physician organizations, put priority, because when we all work together for the physician's well-being and our patients' well-being, we can achieve something.
Very nice. Wonderfully described by both of you, the long-term vision of AAPI. So now let's change the subject to the leadership and advocacy for the AAPI. How does AAPI balance professional advocacy with community service, humanitarian work, and what leadership qualities are most important in guiding such a large and diverse physicians in 21st century?
A leader is somebody who can get others to bring out their best, right? So I believe in inclusivity, in unity, in diverse, backgrounds of all the people that we work with, kind of helping them and not micromanaging them. So I believe in having a team of people who can express themselves without being scared about expressing it. So that's kind of my leadership ideas about it. Some people can have, dominating personalities or servant-like leadership. Inclusivity is very important. So that's kind of, and especially with our Indian diaspora, we have wide variety of people from different regions, different languages. So to bring that together, and we represent in our AAPI, if you see our AAPI board of trustees, as well as our, executive committee leadership, it's very diverse. We represent different specialty, different languages, different alumni groups that have come together. And that's really important as a leader and as AAPI as an organization. The groundwork we have done to community and stuff, we have always helped local chapters. We have a lot of different, projects that we have taken over the period of last few years. One is like we give out the blankets in November to the needy in the area. We've done various health camps and getting to the public about the vaccinations, about HPV vaccination. One of our board member is doing Help a Child. We are doing a lot of charity work. So we're trying to give back to the community. When we go for a global health summit every year to India, we try to bridge, and try to come together with Indian government, Indian physicians. We had an amazing global health summit under Dr. Chakraborty's leadership in Orissa recently. And before that, we went to Indian Medical Association's celebrations in Ahmedabad. And we met with the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and we discussed about how we can help them, how our team from here can come, help anything in the process they want, either do health camps or mentorship program. We have a postgrad program now who are people who are interested in medical school. They are still in high school and colleges, but they have interest in medical school. So we have started that. We are doing that mentorship to help them get involved. So that's kind of mentorship program we have. We work as a leaders, senior leaders with the young physician group, medical student residents and fellow, postgrads who are interested. So there are different programs that we have started. International medical graduate, we have a whole bunch of different committees that help with IMGs, helping them, guiding them. We get them observership, help them with the placement, with the match date. We help with few students have and when they were opening. So we're working in multiple different directions to help leadership and younger students here, as well as community outreach there. And we, by doing these different activities up here in our United States, as well as going back, I think that's how we're planning to, kind of get the communities together, the groundwork that you asked us, the mentorship you asked for, and the leadership, that we're trying to bring.
Wonderful. Anything else you want to add, Dr. Chakraborty?
No, I mean, she has summed it up beautifully, and that's exactly what AAPI leadership is all about. Our leadership is basically try to be inclusive. That's a very important point, to include everybody who is interested, because there are a lot of stresses in our life, a lot of we get pulled in many directions, but this is something which is completely voluntary. As you know, that is a non-paying job, and you actually take time off your work. You actually cut down. I've cut down my work to about 9 days a month. I just cannot. So if you want to do the job good, and if you try to become, and you've been rewarded with leading such a great organization, you have to give it 100%. And that is what leadership is all about: inclusivity, complete dedication for this year. You've got 1 year to make your point and make this. And if you have, and me and Patel, both of us, we just spearhead several things, and we divide and conquer. She does something and I do something, so that way there's no duplication. And more importantly, you said about community projects. She has outlined everything which we have done. We also have done one thing which she missed out, which is kind of a feather on a cap, is AAPI stem cell drive. So basically, that is one of the biggest thing which has happened. Let me give you a little background, because audience and people need to know this. When you get leukemia, or when your bone marrow is irradiated, your bone marrow is completely gone. Body cannot produce any blood cells, and so you need bone marrow transplantation. Previously, we used to take it from the bone marrow. These days, due to advance of science, we can actually get it from peripheral blood, just a blood draw. And guess what? They spin the blood, take the stem cells, and give you a blood back, so you don't have to lose anything. And also, when you sign up, you don't have to. It doesn't mean that you have to volunteer to be there. It's just a signing of the registry, and they take a buccal swab and get you registered in there. Tell me why it's important. It is because stem cell registry, usually if you're Indian, your HLA typing, your matching has to be 99%, it has to be another Indian. And guess what? In the blood bank, in the bone marrow registry, or stem cells we call it, we don't call it bone marrow anymore, stem cell registry, there are so few Indians. That is one of our very important AAPI leaders who from Wisconsin suddenly was found to have leukemia, and he had bone marrow radiation. He could not find a match. And his doctor said that, when you get an infection, you die. There's nothing else. Fortunately, he found his brother in Chennai, in India, where he got it from. So we took it with Satish Kathula, with the president last year, with an oncologist, and with the help of Shashi Kupala, who is very motivated in this. And now Aarti Shah has taken it over. And so we are, so last year they launched it in USA, but in USA they were getting very few Indians. They used to go to temples, they used to go to school functions, but registration was 10 or 12 per event. We launched it big time in Global Summit in India. They got 500 people signed up on the first day on that event. So that is so huge to increase the stem cell registry, Indians being in the stem cell registry. So that's a huge step which AAPI has taken, and apart from all the other things which Patel has mentioned.
As we assemble in Odisha, the land of culture, heritage and innovation, I am confident that deliberations during the summit will lead to actionable insights that will strengthen our resolve and energize our collective efforts to nurture health. I wish this event a grand success. Thank you all for giving me a very patient hearing.
Thank you for describing those wonderful initiatives AAPI has been taking it, especially those life-saving initiatives are very important from a physician's community coming out. People will believe, people will understand. So thank you for doing those things, both Dr. Gore and Dr. Chakroborty. So let's move on to the next question of policy and advocacy. In this today's world, healthcare policies are changing drastically. I worked myself for government for 30 years, and when I started back in 1990s, we had so much simple policies and advocacy for the healthcare industry. Now it's changing rapidly. So what role does AAPI currently play in shaping the healthcare policy at a national level, and how can AAPI influence the discussion around physician burnout, reimbursement reform, and healthcare access to the underserved community in the USA?
Fantastic question. So can I take this, Hetal? So because this is what I was why I did not mention all the things which we did before. I said that there has to be a question coming up regarding this. So I saved this for that. So let me tell you what. Let's tackle the three things which you just now said. One is advocating physician advocacy, how to improve their practice. Number two, burnout. Number three, what are we doing to change policies which affect the physicians? Okay. So first thing is that is very important, and we with this time, because of the accessibility I have with Bobby Mukammala, we actually went to the AAPI Legislative Day. Hetal, I, and a bunch of other people went to the AAPI Legislative Day in Washington, D.C. and were standing shoulder to shoulder with them to do this. So advocacy of physician burnout, we do that on a ground level by various ways: meditation, yoga, mental health lectures, etc., etc. Advocacy about getting physician reimbursements and all those things are very, very important, and we write to people, Congress people, and we have got several things which we like. For example, if there is a mass signature campaign to the Congress, and we have our leaders like Jai Shah. He's a very, very dynamic leader in this. He was the past president of AAPI. He's from San Antonio area. He usually advocates this, and we propagate that to all the AAPI members so that everybody can sign, and this collectiveness is what helps. And lastly, which is the most important thing, is that policy changes which has happened this year. I just want to tell you, which I really proudly say, it just happened while I was there, and we consider this a feather in our cap, that the first day when we took office, we knew that there were multiple Indian medical students who had matched into residency programs here. Okay, but the J1 visa thing was stopped by the government. Well, with advocacy of AMA, just before I joined, but before 1st of July, they had lifted the embargo and stoppage of the J1 visas. Otherwise, this hospital will be completely lost without any residents to take care of the primary care things. Well, what happened was, I don't know for what reason, but every other country got their visa slots, the interview slots, but India was not getting it. We had China, even China, Pakistan, everyone got it. So, fortunately, with the help of several people, including Dr. Barai, who is a past BOT, and several other people, we got in touch with senior officials in the U.S. Embassy in India and the Secretary of State here, and with multiple letters which we wrote them, explaining to them what's going to happen to your healthcare, and it's not for us, not necessarily for them, it's for your hospitals. You have to look out for that. All 165 people got their interview slots. So that was a major milestone that we achieved. And also, in addition to that, we about the H-1B issue which has come up. Every person coming from India has to pay $100,000 to get a slot here, residency slot here. So that is a very, very big hurdle for not only the physicians from there, but the hospitals here. Who's going to pay $100,000 for each? There were 70 residents. Where will they get the money from? They are small hospitals I'm talking about. So we, AMA and AAPI have been consistently advocating for that. And what we have done is we have written papers to the Congress, white papers. We have submitted a memorandum. We have actually formed a group called South Asian Physicians of North America, and that includes all the South Asian countries. And we presented a memorandum to Bobby Mukabala at the legislative day. And finally, we also have another petition which we're going to post in the newsletter coming up tomorrow for people to sign up and make sure our collective voices are heard. So these are the important policy things which people need to understand, that we are doing this as a collective manner, and it helps everyone. Even if you're a member or a non-member, it will help you.
Very good.
So I think Dr. Chakroborty explained it pretty well. So there is a bipartisan bill which has been introduced in Congress, and we are telling all the legislators of all the members to kind of reach out to their legislator and kind of help pass this bill for H-1B visa, because 100K sponsorship for that H-1B per institute, per candidate is not visible, as that has been introduced, along with the J1 slots that has been affected. So those are one of the few legislative stuff. In the history of AAPI, we always have a legislative day where we go to the Congress and we meet with congressmen and senators, and we kind of give our point of view. What are the struggles of a physician in today's day and age, insurance company practices, overheads, underserved areas, etc. And that has always helped. Every time I have attended this for past 8 to 9 years, I have learned that the congressmen and senators are very, very eager to learn about our problems, and they like to hear, because a lot of times they said, oh, we didn't even realize that what you guys go through. And so the advocacy we do is not just for physicians, it's also for the patients' rights, patients' well-being, as well as other colleagues. So that I wanted to kind of emphasize. That's what advocacy the physician does, not just for themselves, but for the patients and their patients' well-being, and we look out for them, because some of the practices by insurance companies are not always for the betterment of our patients. So we become our patients, advocate and talk about that. So I just wanted to add a few more points to that.
Yes.
That brings me to one more point which I want to add here, which about patients. So what we have done also for the H-1B visa problems, we realize that Indian physicians are so well liked, especially in smaller communities where because of our upbringing of respect to elders, we treat elderly patients absolutely like our family, and they love us for that. And you know that. I mean, we Indian physicians, especially in smaller, and they come and tell you, Doc, I'm so glad you are here. Otherwise, my mom would have died, or we had to go 50 miles to get a heart. Whatever they say. This was 6 months ago when this bill was first introduced. We realized that just writing a white paper to the Congress is not enough. We have to do two things. We have to do a JAMA article, a peer-reviewed article, which will show the reason why we are required. And we had a JAMA article on J1 visas. I'm proud to say that AAPI was mentioned in the JAMA article about maybe 9 months ago. We want another, not a white paper, but an actual research paper showing them what will happen, what impact of international medical graduates in this thing. And secondly, we told our physicians, go and talk to your patients. When the patients tell you that this is what's happening, you tell them that, look, this may not last for long, and there may not be too many doctors to help you here. Go talk to your congressman, because their constituents talking to the congressman will make it much more effective than we writing a white paper.
Wonderful. Thank you, AAPI leadership, for playing a huge role in shaping healthcare policy at the national level, helping the physicians, and like Dr. Gore said, not only the physicians but the patients also, because the patients also benefit from these policies and advocacy. My important question coming up now. close to my heart is how can AAPI better mentor medical students, residents, and early career physicians? What does AAPI or what can AAPI do to serve nearly 30% of physicians who are serving the US patient population?
I'll just say a few things so that way Dr. Chakroborty has more points to add. So we, as I had mentioned earlier, we are very, very excited to get our youth to get involved. We have a young physicians section, we have medical student, resident, and fellow, and now we have the postgrads who are interested in a medical career. We are mentoring them. We have our younger physician section now entering the mainstream AAPI. We have few leaders already in our executive committee and board of trustees that are, born and brought up here and very active in betterment of physician and the community as such. So we are trying to help them. We are mentoring them. We are guiding them. We have a mentorship program that you were also part of, Dr. Patel, where we kind of really kind of help promote, educate them, and guide them about writing paper, doing research, how to enter into different fields of medicine. And what you gave a talk was very impressive about how to get into different government jobs. We all think about after finishing medical school and residency, okay, private practice or hospital job, but what you kind of guided them about different other jobs that one can do. So this kind of guidance, this kind of mentorship, this kind of one-to-one, talking, and I get, and I'm pretty sure Dr. Chakroborty gets multiple text, email, WhatsApp from multiple, students who are either, planning to get into medical school, or they are already in medical school, planning for residency, and even residency. They reach out to us for the guidance, for involvement. When we went to Global Health Summit in Orissa, we met up with so many amazing young students. In last year in Delhi, we had, I forget the number, but around close to 100 paper and poster presentation that happened in Delhi, and I went through all of them. We gave them the feedback and guidance, and same we did right now when we went to Orissa. So we are helping the students and residents and fellows not only in United States, as you saw, we did it in New Jersey, but also back home, because writing papers, research is something that was not a very strong, part of Indian training, and now we are helping and guiding them how they can become better at research, writing papers, because that's also a very important part of a training apart from the clinical experience. So that's some of the things we are doing to help our residents and students get involved. And I'm going to leave the rest of the stuff for Dr. Chakroborty so we don't duplicate.
And I'm so happy I was part of that event. It was so impressive. So many students, so many future leaders are there in the healthcare, and I saw you both taking the leadership role right there, and that impressed me so much that you are so much involved with the AAPI and the AAPI mission.
Thank you, Dr.
Great, yeah. So I need to add a couple of things, what we have done for the, she pretty much covered what we are doing for the medical students, residents here. She's right, we get so many calls. Hey, I didn't match here. Can you just help us? Do you know any physician there? And we guide them to physicians because of our huge AAPI community. And we're proud to say Indian physicians have now gone up in the ranks. They are dean directors of programs, and they help a lot. They really do. And we also guide them in various other ways. We actually have, with the help of a few people in Parag, Devendra, and Himanshu in AAPI QLI. We have been working on this AAPI observership. What used to happen before, everybody was doing stuff. AMA was doing stuff for the IMGs. There are other people, but nobody, it was like everyone reinventing the wheel. So what I did when I came over, put them together. So there's one umbrella which is called AAPI IMG Committee, and we got the website finally done. It's going to be launched actually as we speak, today or tomorrow, by this weekend. That website, the main thing is we've got a list of mentors and a list and students who want to be matched. Is almost like a match program, and it is AI driven, and people who want to do an observership for 3 months, they want to come from India, do an observership which will help them get positions here. We match them, so they say that, hey, I'll be in LA with my aunt I'll be visiting, I can see her for 3 months. Can you find me anybody in LA, especially who is in surgery or who is a pathologist, who is a radiologist? And we match them. It's a huge database which is growing every day, and we want that's the first thing. That's the major thing of that. Then we have another component of people who help students write articles or be a part of a paper and get published in peer-reviewed journals. That actually shows great things about their resume looks much better if you have a couple of peer-reviewed articles. Thirdly is we have webinars. We do webinars, and believe it or not, we actually take help from our Pakistani Doctors Association. There are people there who do this very successfully, and we actually have them come and give us give some suggestion of how to get visas. And we have from our physician Patel, there are like Urvesh Patel and other people who actually give seminars. Kinjal is one, Zishan is one. They give actual seminars on how to apply, how to present yourself in the interview, tips of making yourself successful. These 3 portals, we have got them together. There are other minor portals which we are still working on, but these 3 major portals is being launched, and that hopefully will help a lot to the international medical graduates trying to come into this country.
Thank you both for your time, dedication, and coming to IndusTV MedTalk today. Thank you so much for joining from your busy schedule, and we'll stay in touch. Good luck with your leadership role in AAPI, and we're looking forward to see you in July at the National Convention. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you.